Hello, and thank you so much for joining us. My name is Cedric Bailey, and I tell you what, I am ready to talk with, of course, Andrea George Carrington. Hey, Andrea, how you doing?
Hi, Sad. I'm great today. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I just want to get this over with right now and just let you know, all you Cowboy fans sat up there and said we going to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Wake
That
up,
was just, that was
get
just
up,
one game.
slap, wake up,
And
stop dreaming.
they did us wrong on that game. They did us wrong on that game.
You did it
CD.
to yourself. One of your players quit. One of them laid out on the line and got hurt.
I know. I mean, look what they did to CD Lamb, Now
That's what I'm talking about.
quick,
So, so wake
now
up.
he's
Stop
in
all this
concussion
foolishness.
protocol.
Y'all ain't going nowhere. Y'all, I just ordered a couch for you right now. It's sitting over there with the Raiders.
It's not over
You'll be
until the
home
fat
by
lady
Christmas.
sings.
Listen to me. Wake up. It's over.
No,
Stop
it's not
dreaming.
over. We still in it. We
Stop
still in
all
it.
this foolishness. That's all I gotta say.
It's interesting that, you can't stand the Cowboys, but every time we open up our show, it's all about the Cowboys. People don't talk about stuff they don't like. I don't have nothing else. Oh Lord. Now who's at you
I'm
got?
going back to the ranch. Let's go.
You going back to the ranch?
I'm going out to put me out there in on the ranch. That's all I gotta say. Put me out there. What's that? Hudson Oak. That's where I'm going to.
At the notes.
Hudson Oak. If you
Well, you
don't
got
know
a
where that
Rams
is,
hat on though.
that's because I drive a Dodge.
Oh, you drive a
When I bought my vehicle, you know how they do it at the dealerships. Here, get your hat. I said, okay,
yeah.
great. I
Okay.
use it.
Well,
I use it when I put my haul hay. I'm gonna make a trip after I leave here. So listen, let me say it one time. Wake up. It's over.
it's
Come on
not
up.
over until the fat lady
I
sings.
just saw her. She's up there eating two corn dogs right now. Maybe six. But anyway, let's talk. What do you want to talk about today, Andre?
Lots of stuff going on. The
We got to talk
WNBA.
about the Mavericks. If you want to talk about somebody doing something, let's talk about
Yeah.
the Dallas
So
Mavericks.
the Mavericks are hot, man. I tell you, that last game against Houston, if I tell you they balled out, they balled out. I mean, every category, rebounding, the defense was the most impressive defense I've seen in a while, as far as, going after the ball, coming off the rebound, kicking it out and going, diving on the floor, rolling on the floor, and just making sure that they were securing every opportunity. There was no loose ball left without the Mavericks having their hand on it in some kind of way. And most of the night, we either recovered or got it from going out of bounds, and they just Brandon Williams and Cooper Flagg just took off running down the court. It was so good, so exciting.
Well, look at the
And
standing. Let's look at the standings in the Western Conference. You got Oklahoma City, who the Mavericks played in Oklahoma City, so they had a back to back, and they came back and
yeah.
they beat Houston on a back to back. But let's talk about the game against the Thunder. The
Mhm.
Thunder are 11-0 at home. They got a 14-game winning streak, and Mavericks hung in there with them till the first half, and then after that, what happened, Andre?
Just, Oklahoma being Oklahoma, it's almost like they'll play with you the first half, first quarter. They'll let you do whatever you need to do to, make you feel like you're gonna win the game. But then, if you get too close to them, or, you know, they they feel that you might get ahead of them, then they just take over. They are so dominant. And the thing about Oklahoma, it doesn't matter who you bring off the bench. It doesn't matter what group you put in, first team, second team. They don't have, everybody can go on that team. They are team, three teams deep with that organization. And that coach, he's a very smart coach, and he makes the right moves at the right time. And I mean, look at their record. I mean, they've only
22
lost.
and 1.
Yeah.
And then you got the Lakers right behind them, Denver Nuggets. So the Mavericks beat Denver, right?
Right.
Then
Yeah.
they beat Houston, right?
Right.
All right. So they beat well, they played Memphis. The deal is the Portland Trailblazers is like on the 10th spot. So look at the Mavericks now. They're right there in the thick of it. And then there's the Utah Jazz.
Yep.
What's going on with the Jazz, by the way?
Well, the Jazz, they won, they beat Houston at home, and then they went on the road and they beat they went to New York. They
Got
beat
blew out on that one.
well, not they beat the Nets.
Okay, yeah, Brooklyn.
Yeah, they beat Brooklyn, but the next night they played New York. Um,
Well, I see that Keontae scored 29 points in that game.
yeah,
Markin scored 30 points too as well. It was 123 to 110 on Thursday night, you know.
right.
And then they played against Brooklyn. I mean against New York. So in that game, it was a rout. It's hard, in basketball, it's up and down without a doubt.
Yeah, it is. And even though you have those two, though the Keontae and Marketing, they're working very good together as a team. But it takes more than two. Everybody it takes everybody contributing in the game when you come up against, New York Knicks just punched them dead off the jump. I mean, they had a 25 to 0.
Nothing. Yeah.
And I was just sitting back going, oh my God, you don't really want to feel sorry for them, but it's like, oh my gosh, time out, coach.
Yeah. And the game tonight is in against the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yes.
And it's
Oklahoma City Thunder.
And it's in Utah, right?
Right.
Okay. And then Memphis, and then they play Dallas.
Yep. On the 15th. And at the game Saturday night against Houston, was sitting at the in the area where the press, everybody eats, before the game starts. And I was sitting at a table with a lot of the press, and a lot of them were like, we're thinking about going to Utah. We've never been to Utah. We've heard so much about Utah, and they're like, tell us about Utah. I was like, I don't live in Utah. I live in Dallas.
Why they ask you that?
Because, I guess they're trying to figure out, what the 411 is. But I was nice. I was told them, hey, it's nice, it's beautiful. There's a lot of things to do if you do go, golfing in the mountains, hiking. But it was just so many of them that said that they've heard a lot of good things about Utah, but they'd never been to Utah. But it looks like several of them are going to make the trip.
Bring a jacket because it's always snowing out there.
Yeah. And it's very cold from my understanding right now in Utah. But I told them, I said, go. It'll be interesting. If I didn't have a commitment probably on the 15th, I would probably try to make that game up in Utah too, because, of our credential status that we have, being able to, get into the games and be able to move around. But, there was about 4 or 5 of them at the table that were saying they were going to be going to the game in Utah. So,
yeah. Well, let's go back to something. Let's go back to talk about, first of all, how do you see the Jazz looking this week? They got a tough schedule, They got a tough schedule this week.
Oh, I don't know. In my opinion, I think they can beat anybody. Just got to bring it. You just got to bring it every single night. You can't take any team for granted. And, for those teams out there that downplay them, don't downplay them. From my understanding tonight, on, Sunday night's game, I believe that I read where Oklahoma was planning on resting some of their players.
Mm-hmm.
You can rest if you want to. You're gonna rest up on a 23-2 loss.
Okay. It can that cowboy. That my hat back on? Huh? You need to put
You
it
know, you can't come at me with the Cowboy, and you cannot come at me about Utah because I am a believer, and I believe anybody can beat anybody in
That's true. That's true. That's
any
true.
moment.
That's true. That's true. You're right. Anything that can happen in basketball, that's just the way it goes. And
That's
definitely,
it.
yeah. So,
All I know is every time they step on the court, something's gonna pop off.
yeah,
I
you're
mean,
right.
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be exciting, and it's gonna be like, wow, did you see that? So at least they keep it entertaining. Win or lose, they have an excellent fan base there in Utah. Great support
Yes,
from
they do.
everybody.
Well,
We're
let's
gonna
let's
look
go back.
back. We're
Let's
gonna
go
look
back.
back one day and remember these conversations.
Hey. I know that. But anyway, let me tell you, you're right. I am going to remember that. But let me show you my screen again. Let me say this. I think they probably, I hate to say this, but Nico, the former general manager of the Mavericks, is just sitting
Uh-huh.
back. He got paid. You know why he got paid? Because this guy right here on the screen is really understanding the game. And who am I
Yeah,
talking about? Cooper Flagg.
Cooper Flag. He is a beast. I mean, the boy plays so hard. You know, when I get there, he's the only one in the gym shooting. Uh, every scenario, from this baseline to that baseline to spin around, somebody coming at him, whoever's working with him is coming at him. And, the ball's down low, they're down low, rolling around. I mean, it's just like he mimics the game in the warm up. And he's like dripping wet with sweat, when he's out there. He goes hard. And then Nimhart was with him out there on Saturday night's game, and they were just feeding off of each other. Just and I
Who's
thought
Brandon Williams? Who's Brandon Williams?
he's a rookie, but he's a rookie, and I mean he's coming along very nicely.
He came from
The
Arizona.
Yep. He I mean, outstanding play. He pushes the ball. See they're going with the rooks, and they are
Yeah, because
pushing that
you
ball.
asked the question to kid. What'd you tell him?
Huh?
Did you ask what'd you tell kid during the game, the free count?
I said shout out to the rooks, because you had Cooper, you had uh, Brandon Williams, you had Christie. I love Christie, and now you have Nimhard, and I said, hey, coach, shout out to the rooks, and I said, do you think they're changing the game or adding to the game? And he said not necessarily changing the game, but they are definitely adding to the game. Their tempo and their pace, they have just made up in my mind. When we get on the court, we're running, and that's what they do. With what they're doing, they're running. They ran the dog out of Houston. That's what happened against the Houston game. They hit them right out of the gates, running. And Houston looked a little bit winded, and they were challenging on the boards. Our boy Anthony Davis, he had 29 points on Saturday night.
I'm gonna
Hey,
ask
it's
you a
either
question. I'm gonna tell you this. I want to know how much money is Ryan Nimhart making, and I found it. He don't even make it $1 million a year on his contract. It's approximately $300,000.
well, he's an undrafted rookie, and he was a two-way player.
Played in the NBA and the G League. We played in the
Right,
summer. You remember
right,
we was watching those games, and he was coming and he was playing G League out in Vegas. So
right,
so right now he's got a 1-year, two-way contract with the Mavericks.
right now. But I can tell you that they have said that I guess they have a time frame that they can make adjustments to their salaries or to their teams. And they said on Saturday that all they were doing was just waiting on the time when they can sign him because he needs to be signed. I mean, he's in the starting lineup now. He's the only undrafted uh undrafted athlete, NBA athlete on a two-way contract that is doing that has ever done what he's doing, to be playing on the team, started on the team. When they call his name, you think they called Cooper Flagg. That's just how much energy comes out of that arena. And he brings it. He is, the one thing about him, though, he has a lot of confidence. He believes that he belongs. He knows that he belongs. And he's done everything that he needs to do to get himself in a position to make sure that when he got that opportunity, that he keeps that opportunity. And that's exactly what he did. He is the perfect point guard. He's not going in and looking to take his shot. He's looking to make everybody else better. He's the one that will go after the ball that's going out of bounds, hang in the air, throw it up to the goal, and AD make a dunk. That's that kid.
So let me ask you the question.
He's so excited.
What was the mood the last few days? Because the Mavericks are 5 for 5 of their last 10 games. They won 5, they lost 5. But what's the mood been like there at the AAC now?
Is hyped, is lines around the arena when I get there at 5 o'clock, there's people, just lines of people, kids everywhere, buses galore, with schools bringing kids in. The energy is just up. Even all the workers, that are coming in, what we gonna do tonight? What you think they're gonna do tonight? Everybody's the conversation is just hyped. And then once you get in the arena, everybody's just sitting around, chit-chatting, kids are yelling at all the players, trying to get their autograph. So it's really, really good. And I think that the fans are showing an appreciation for what they're doing. They've always been there, but it's kind of been like, okay, when we're going to get this together. But now that they seem to be getting it together, they won four out of 5.
Yeah. Well, this week, I'm looking at the schedule right quick, and we're going to have to get ready to hit this break. And we got to do this in about the next 30 seconds. But their next 3 games, they will be at home on Friday against the Brooklyn Nets. Then they go to, on Monday, they'll travel to Utah at the Salt Lake. And then they got the Pistons will be here on next Thursday, December 18th.
Right.
And then, so that's what the schedule looks like. So they got a chance to win out of these games. I'd say at least 2 out of 3 of those games. So we'll definitely see. I expect them probably by Christmas to be in the top 10. Would you think so?
I would think so, because you still have AD is back, as long as he can stay healthy. Every time he falls, I'm like, get up, AD, get up, AD. And he gets up and he bounces back off. He shakes it off. Even if he's hurt, he shakes it off. He's up and down that court. But with Derek Lively, he should be coming back December 8th, Friday. Guess who will be back?
Hold that thought. I got to hit this break. Hold that thought. You're checking out Sports in the Mix with yours truly, Cedric Bailey and Andrea George. And we got to talk a little bit more. We got to talk about Nancy Lieberman. We got to talk about the WNBA and much more. So stay with us for those that are checking us on the radio on the BGC Sports Network. Meanwhile, Andrea, I want to just thank you for what you're doing. You're doing a fine job covering the Dallas Mavericks and being right there. And what are the people saying to you that follow online? And also, you want to take this time too, as well, to share with our listeners that are watching us how they can get your book, Fitsational.
You can get the Fitsational, my health and fitness daily fitness tips, anywhere books are sold. Amazon. You can also download it as an ebook on Amazon. Walmart.com, barnesandnoble.com, anywhere, basically right now, anywhere in the world, because it is now being distributed internationally. So anywhere, and also on my website at thefitkidscorp.org.
I got you. So glad to hear that. And what is your website? The Fit Kids? What is it again?
The Fit Kids Corporation.com.
I got
Kids
you.
Corporation.
All right,
and I'm feeling kind of in the holiday spirit. So anybody that writes in or contacts us in any kind of way, I will send a complimentary book to you.
All right, y'all heard it. So you heard it right here on Sports in the Mix. So let's get back to the action. And welcome back, segment 2 here on the BGC Sports Network, Sports in the Mix, with yours truly, Cedric Bailey and Andrea George Carrington. And I tell you what, we just being so nice and everything to everybody. But you said, guess what? Who's coming back? What's happening for the Mavs on this upcoming weekend, Andrea?
Well, they announced that, let's see, today's the 7th, on the 8th, which is tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, I lost my train of thought there. The point guard that's been out for forever, Kyrie
Irving.
Kyrie will be turning back to action on tomorrow.
Okay, so he's coming back. He's gonna get back to the court. I guess so, because with these rookies right now, they might just like, well, it's now's the time. I think he's been ready, but before I say anything negative, I want to be positive. What did Kyrie do with HBCU such as Paul Quinn College?
He has now partnered with him and one of his sponsors have partnered with Paul Quinn College. And now I don't know the exact details of what that's going to consist of, but just the partnership alone, he's going to be helping out in different areas as far as the college is concerned. With what their needs are. They're really big into education and community projects. But that's a good partnership. That's what you like to see. You like to see these athletes out here partnering up with, it doesn't really matter what organization it is, but it just kind of adds a little bit more to it when you see them partnering with these HBCUs around the world, because they are taking a hit financially based on what's going on in the country with the funding being pulled. So it's good to see these guys stepping up and helping out with whatever their needs are. With their platforms and with their partnerships. No HBC should be suffering in any kind of way.
That's right. And I want to say kudos to Kyrie, what he's doing. Now, I do want to let you know, we do as reporters have got to tell the truth now. Did you know that the trade deadline is coming up by eligibility? And they said, according to some of the reports out there, that there's discussion of possibly trading Kyrie to Minnesota. Have you heard that?
I have not heard that.
Yeah.
I have not heard that at all. But
he's recovering from a torn ACL. He is a key from there. They could use his leadership out there on the court, especially with Cooper Flagg and Anthony Davis.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to be with the Mavericks to stay with the organization, but Minnesota is looking for a elite ball handler to hook up with Anthony Edwards and, talking about if Memphis, John Morant remains available. And by the way, speaking of John Morant, why he up here arguing with Klay Thompson? He didn't even play in the game. You saw that.
There hasn't been any noise about John Morant. I mean, there hasn't been anything publicly. There's been no drama. So I guess he thought he could bring that to drama. But Klay Thompson told him, you come at me when you in the game, not when you sitting on the bench.
In street clothes.
Just Klay was just walking to the locker room and here comes John Morant. I was like, oh my gosh, like fight right outside the tunnel. I'm like, John Morant, he didn't even play.
He got that mentality.
So I think he's just always got to keep his name
in the news.
Something.
Yeah.
But it needs to be in the news for a positive reason.
Yeah, you're
not
right,
you trying to find somebody in Dallas.
Yeah.
You didn't even play.
Yeah, you're right about that. But we get ready to shift gears and talk. But I think if we will find out about Kyrie Irving and what he's going to be able to do, and I think do you think that if he comes back and he got all these people, can the Mavericks turn it around and turn it in? As they didn't even got to the second half of the season, they just had a slow start, Andrea.
Yeah, I think his leadership is very important. You know, when I go to the practices sometime in the mornings, he's always out there on the court. He's always mentoring. He's always talking. Even in the in the arena where the players are coming in, and he's usually talking to somebody out there in the hallway about the game or whatever. So I think his leadership role is the most important thing for the Mavericks, is to have those guys like Kyrie. And I think Kyrie is an excellent fit for Dallas. He seems to really like Dallas. He's buying into a lot of things that are happening in Dallas, and he's always present.
Yes.
So,
all right. Well, we're gonna definitely see what's gonna happen on that situation. But meanwhile, let's shift gears because we have two subjects we got to talk about. One is the WNBA and the WNBA Players Association collective bargaining agreement for the second time. They did not get a chance to reach a settlement, and it was pushed back by 6 weeks. They had back on November the 30th to reach a deal. And what happened on that situation? Because right now they're working through January the 9th of 2026. Is that correct, Andrea?
Yeah. Well, the offer that was put on the table was I think a minimum of $225,000 salary, $1 million for those that have been in the league, and a max $5 million for the top players in the league. But even though they were giving, increasing the salaries, they were pulling back like housing. Now, of course, you're not making that kind of money, you should be able to afford your housing, but the WNBA is a very short period, and you're not really buying a house unless you know that you're going to be here permanently. But the way they move around, the housing shouldn't even have been an issue. The housing was really just an issue mostly for the international players that come, that don't have anybody here, that don't know anybody here, not connected in any kind of way, and they're going to have to come to come to America and try to figure all this out on their own. But that was one of the things that was taken away in the negotiation. And of course, starting the season earlier, extending the season, so it was going to interfere with the NCAA. So the girls that are coming out of college would have the possibility of missing out on, drafts as an important thing. So it was making the players have to try to figure out too many things unnecessarily. And then of course, a percentage of the profit sharing.
Well, let me just tell you this. There are some players that are about to get paid, in the endorsement deals. If they leave and go into another league, they're not going to make the money that they make now. Right now, these players, the prominent players, are making money. And let me tell you something. I'm going to show you something on the screen right quick. Okay. So here who is that right there?
Paige Bucker. She's on everybody's commercial.
Check this out with CarMax. Now check this out. Hold on a second. There we go. Hold on a second. This right. There we go. Paige. Come on, Paige.
Everything's bigger in Texas. Feels like you want to go real big too.
Yeah, Paige.
Asking all the big old questions.
CarMax.
Doing it all without a big to-do.
Let's go.
Looks like it's pickup day. Oh, wow. Okay. Not a truck. You can do it all your way. Want to drive?
She's a Texan now. But see,
Lord.
What's going to happen is if there's no more WNBA, then guess what? Those endorsements go away.
Yeah.
So the the endorsement. Now, of course, everybody in the WNBA doesn't have the massive endorsements like Paige. And Paige and Angel Reese just partnered today for they're partnering on a Reese's peanut butter cup and another candy item that now they're partnering up and have got endorsements. So, but you've got to be able to make everybody in the W feel comfortable and wanted. For those that don't have the endorsements like they have yet, at least they can look back and say, well, at least I make a decent salary in the league and make me feel like I belong as too. But right now they just cannot not come to terms. David Stern has said, not Stern, that is not
Are you
his
talking
name.
about the lady that's the commissioner?
No, the NBA commissioner.
Yeah. Okay.
He,
Adam Silver.
Yeah, Silver. I will always be a David. I call him David Stern all the time.
Yeah.
But anyway, he
yeah.
says that there will be an agreement, and
Okay.
he's speaking from the NBA side. So I think he's ready for them to settle this because it's a reflection on both the NBA and the WNBA. And again, my thing is about you don't want to kill the momentum that you have built.
Yeah. Well,
and then you got Project B that's coming along saying, okay, we're going to sign anybody that wants to come over to this league. We're automatically going to pay you $1 million. Wow, but you don't have the endorsements to pull.
Yeah.
The right. Top players.
Gotcha.
And but they've got another 6 weeks.
Okay.
To try to figure it out. So
we're gonna wait and see what's happening. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna close out in our final 3 minutes. You had the weekend over the weekend to see Nancy Lieberman, and she is talking about the men for prostate. One of the players, somebody she knew. Tell us a little bit about what she's why is she promoting prostate cancer awareness?
She works with a lot of men, and she works with a lot of African-American men, with the big three. She's very much involved. She is an employee of that organization, and she knows a lot of she specifically focuses on African-American men and their health, and prostate cancer is a cancer that has affected a lot of her friends, personal friends of hers. And she has taken it upon herself to make sure that every opportunity that she gets, she speaks on it. And she spoke out last Wednesday on the Maverick broadcast about her friend that had just passed. And she spoke at the funeral, and her message is to all African-American males, please get checked. If you have to know your family history, and you have to know the history of the men in your family. It's okay. It's a holiday season. Families are coming together in large numbers, and you cannot be afraid to ask those questions. Hey, well, what did Papa die from? Well, Papa died from prostate cancer. Well, you automatically should know that could trigger your brain to say, hey, that's in our bloodline. I'm going to go get checked. Don't be afraid to go get checked. And that was her message, because she has lost so many of her friends that are personal and dear to her.
It was Michael Ray Richardson. That's who it was.
Yes, Michael Ray Richardson. And they played internationally together. And so there's a lot of these men that have been diagnosed, are very close and very dear to her. We can say it to each other. I can say it to you. I can say it to my brothers. Please go get checked. But it's something about the way that message came across to her from her
NBA All-Star Michael Ray.
I found this picture right quick, and I was trying to show it so you can see it as we close out on this segment.
Yeah.
We want to definitely see about Michael Ray Richardson and what he was able to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can you see that video with him? Right?
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah. But he died at the age of 70 from prostate cancer. So we wrap this up. What do you want to say, the message that you want to share with everyone?
I want to say to our men, especially our African-American men, my dad died, passed of prostate cancer. My grandfather had prostate cancer. My dad's grandfather died of prostate cancer. So we already know there's a history of prostate cancer in the family. And I encouraged my brothers on a text during, everybody texts. Nobody wants to pick up the phone anymore. But I encouraged them to please make sure you get checked. Make sure that you get an understanding of how that works in the bloodline. So that for this holiday season, when you have time with your families, have that conversation. Just don't assume because you're an athlete and you take all the right vitamins and you do the right exercises and you do all this and you do all that. Don't assume that it's not going to affect you.
Yeah, you got to take it serious.
Yeah, you got to take it serious. So please take the time, get yourself checked. Don't be afraid. You don't have to die from prostate cancer.
Yeah,
we die because we don't catch it in time and do the right things.
Well, Andrea, I sure appreciate you being with us, Sports in the Mix, with the crew here on the BGC Sports Network. And one more time, how can they follow you?
I'm on all social, Facebook, Instagram. I'm going to call it X this time. People say, why do you call it Twitter? Well, it was Twitter. Yes. I'm not trying to change, but all social media platforms, Facebook, X, and Instagram.
Yes. All right, Andrea, thank you so much. God bless you. And as we always say, how we going to close out? I'm going to let you pick it this time. How we going to close out?
Go Mavs.
All right, there you go. That's what I'm talking about.
And Cowboys to the Super Bowl.